A new message appeared on the US debt clock. Anyone know what these messages are trying to tell us? I'm sure, but I see a special code 186. Now let's pause for a second. What is code 186? This code 186 is one of the 9 statutes prohibiting criminal profiteering, also known as racketeering. These statutes are essentially the state level version of federal RICO racketeering, influence, and corrupt organization laws. There's no more crypto loading or silver stacking. Now, what are they trying to get to by putting out these messages to us? Of course, we know it's along the lines of central bank digital currency, but we saw recently that they put out a quote from the Bible, and I also found something interesting. If you guys take a look at the bottom of the screen, now I may be tripping, this is just a conspiracy theory, but the small writing in the bottom of the cone, and I can't zoom in anymore here, but if you guys can inspect this and see what it says, I'm not sure if my mind's playing tricks on me, but it looks like it says like hold you and Taylor or something like that, unless it's something flavor for the ice cream. I don't know, but the writing is very small, it's very blurred out. If you guys can zoom in and figure out what that says, why they're putting out these messages to us, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe they don't want you buying silver or crypto when the central bank digital currencies come out, because that will be the main hedge against the control of the government. Maybe banks are about to collapse from the code 186. Who knows what is about to happen? But in today's video, we have a lot of stuff to cover with AMC, GameStop, and then the overall market and some additional stuff to close out the video. So make sure to watch until the end, and all I ask in return is just engage the video in any way by hitting the like button, the subscribe button, or dropping a comment. It helps me out. Watch the video till the end. Let's get into it. So I want to first start the video off by the positive news that's coming out on AMC. I know, right? Blows my mind too. AMC sells out of the Eras Tour movie merch hours after releasing the bundle. AMC announces new Screen Unseen program. AMC boosted by Taylor Swift and Summer Blockbusters data show. And then this title's a little bit iffy. However, you can see the first writing is that CEO Adam Aron stood his ground. And overall, if you type in AMC, the news is somewhat positive, which is interesting coming up on earnings because we know the media likes to be right. On top of that, top grossing of 2023, AMC is now in the 10th spot, which is absolutely nuts. And this is just one artist. This is just Q3. We have a whole nother quarter with brand new revenue streams coming in, probably the largest revenue streams that AMC has ever seen. So overall, it's not looking like AMC is going to die as a company anytime in the near future. Quick touch on some numbers and some data before we touch on the charts. 6.68% short interest, utilization at 39%, and the shares on loan is above 16 million now, 16.31 million. Cost bar average at 1.56% and the max at 6%. Nothing to pay attention to there. 2.5 million shares available to borrow on AMC, but we have 23,000 calls expiring in the money, so it's looking pretty good on the options chain. 23K compared to 3K puts expiring in the money, and then 73,000 out of the money compared to 40,000. So way more people are betting bullish on AMC this week, next week, week after, so on and so forth. We have talked about it, especially for the week expiring November 17th, which is kind of a random date, but I have talked about how I think the market is going to rip, but that's for a little bit later in the video. Also, short exempts decreased to the lowest we've seen at least since the 18th of October, but before that, the 3rd of October, and then for a very long time. These are rare, and the days after them, we usually have large stack of short exempts following it. So just be aware of that. We may hit close to 300K for what's reported tomorrow, especially with this rip in the chart. We'll see what they're doing, what their plan is. However, it is a Friday and they're letting the gamma ramp more and more. AMC is trading at $9.56, up 3.68% on the day. Did we get the breakout? In my opinion, no. But we did base on top of the wedge, on top of the channel, and we are fighting it. As long as more and more volume picks up and we get more volume coming in, which is what we need, because 12 million in volume is not enough to push this thing higher. We are slightly getting that volume coming in, which makes me think that the SPY is bottoming today, and next week, the week after, the SPY is going to start its rips. It's going to start its moves, and I don't mind entering today. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with that very, very soon. I am still in my AMC calls. I think it looks strong. Watch 1035, 1075, and then 1325 for very fast levels to break through. Now, before we get into GameStop's chart, GameStop is set to recognize a one-time profit of $6 million in Q3 2023 for the sale of property and land in Europe as part of winding down some operations in the region. So not crazy info. However, GameStop may get a little bit of a beat on their next earnings and may sell off into that time frame until getting that next pop. I more than likely will be playing GameStop earnings next time they do report. And speaking of earnings, AMC is set to do very well. Plus, I think the market is going to be moving in that same time frame, which means it's likely to be green during their earnings, but be very, very careful. I will have to do a little bit more digging into that. We're not done with GameStop. The GameStop trademark app for Player has been accepted as of today, October 26. It has now been assigned to an examiner, which signals significant progress towards final approval. Once approved, it will be published for objection for a maximum of 60 days in the Federal Register. They have been granted preliminary approval for Player commerce through October 31st, 2024. This is due to the filing being entered as an expedited Section 1B. You have a bona fide intention to use your trademark in commerce with your goods and or services in the near future. Good news for GameStop, and I know you guys like to see the sources. You can see right here the application. I can drop it in the comments if anyone asks for it, as I may forget by the time I upload the video. Now, GameStop trading at $13.25, down 1.85% on the day, broke below the support that we held, and like I said, it's coming to retest this wedge at $13.05 and then break even lower. I still see 10.10 on GameStop, and worst case scenario 375, filling that gap down to where AMC hit at negative 86% from that relative top wick. Okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about this wick right here. AMC had the same wick right around the same time frame and dropped a total of 86%, which would bring GameStop down to about 375, which also, if you haven't been keeping up with the channel, would fill a very, very old gap on GameStop, which is likely to happen. 700,000 shares available to borrow against GameStop at a most recent fee of 1.4%. Call to put ratio not looking good either. 900 calls compared to 4,000 puts expiring in the money. There's not a lot of pressure to the downside, but market makers are collecting all of this useless premium that you guys are losing out on by betting calls on GameStop. And if we push lower to January 19th, all of this money is going to go to market makers. Be very, very careful trading GameStop. Short exempts very low. They don't have to do much with short exempts because the volume's so low. There's no gamma to the upside. If anything, there's a slight push to the downside and they just add to it. Now, before we get into some additional stuff to close out the video, as well as the S&P 500, you guys got to join the Discord if you're not in already. Cheapest Discord on YouTube, and I just added a new feature that everyone is signing up for, hopefully, if you guys are in there. I'm getting things together. I'm getting some tests done, and I'm about to start a trading challenge very soon. So this is the first announcement of it, but it's different than any other trading challenge that any creator has done because you will be able to copy my trades with the click of a button. So Discord is going to be linked right under the video and pinned in the top comments. Plus, I'm in there on the daily if you want to come talk with me and 500 of the most amazing people who join the server, talk stocks all day long, and overall, it's the best vibes. Whether you're a beginner or advanced trader, there are no dumb questions in Discord. Bounce things back and forth, and let's make some money. Also, speaking of making money, free money. If you guys want the 16 free stocks, they're doing absolutely nothing, and each of these stocks valued up to $2,000 per stock. Use my link, sign up for Moomoo, and make a deposit of any amount before the month of October is over, so you do not have long. If you guys signed up using my link and didn't deposit, make sure to deposit right now before you forget. It can literally be a penny to start earning free stocks from there. At least get some free stock. Now, if you deposit $100, you're getting free stocks, but you're also getting a guaranteed free SoFi. So if you guys didn't know that, sign up for Moomoo, deposit $100, put it into your favorite stock, and you're also getting a free SoFi. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but it is a very solid bonus. Plus, you're getting a ton of other benefits from there as well. Moving on, JP Morgan shares just hit a new 3-month low on the news that CEO Jamie Dimon will sell over $140 million worth of JP Morgan shares. Keep in mind, this is the first time in history he would be selling his shares. So is JP Morgan, the largest bank that we watch, dumping shares because they are about to crash? Just like we saw in that first message that I brought up at the beginning of the video, people in the comments mentioning banks collapsing. Is that what's happening? What do you guys think in the comments down below? Also, just in $4.55 billion worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum options expire today, and the markets are in extreme fear again. I have said time and time again, buy when others are fearful, sell when others are greedy, and we are in extreme fear, which means we are in extreme buy territory. Let's talk about the S&P 500. Trading at 413.41, up 0.21% on the day. Came right down to this box that we had drawn out, tested that demand zone, and held it. Okay, this is the perfect bounce I have seen right off 413. I said potentially today we break below 413 and we touch 409. There is potential for that to happen. If we get very little to no volume today, I wouldn't mind jumping in the calls that I've talked about late November, the earliest, because I think in November we easily come up to 442.75 at minimum for the S&P 500, which would be a nasty gain, especially if you held some call contracts. Again, nothing I say is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. It is very risky. The market could be entering a correction very, very soon. We're kind of close to that. Just be aware. Just keep in mind, this is all my thoughts. I'm going to watch till the end of the day, see if we come down to test 409. And before market close, I'm going to decide if I want to enter or not. You will know if I do enter right in Discord, because I'll drop it in there immediately. Overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. Enjoy your weekend. Have post notifications on because I do upload over the weekend. Love you all. Lottery Stocks out.